Donald Trump has scored another victory against this country and its freedoms. By now you've heard that Stephen Colbert, that The Late Show, has been pulled off the air. And it's aired as the last episode not too recently, this past week, as it will technically as in May the 21st, 2026. Its final episode. And yeah, I took a look at its episode and all. And honestly, I have mixed feelings about it. I'm not a huge fan of his. I watched a few episodes here and there depending on who the guest is. However, I will say that this guy, going all the way back to his time on The Daily Show, was an unapologetic truth teller. And it also continued on to The Late Show on CBS. And the reason he was fired, and the reason why his show was pulled off the air, was because he was a truth teller. This all came from last year. Last year, CBS decided to pay Donald Trump over $16 million, stemming from a lawsuit that Trump filed claiming that 60 Minutes heavily edited an interview they did with Vice President Kamala Harris, who was then running for president against Donald Trump. CBS decided to settle and pay them millions. Stephen Colbert went on television and pretty much criticized them, which is, of course, his right. And honestly, he was absolutely right about it. Quoting him, "It sounds like the groundwork for our bribery." He said this in his opening monologue after the summit was announced. And he called the settlement a big fat bribe. Now, what bribe are you talking about, Stephen? What exactly are you saying that CBS is trying to bribe Trump for? That's a big accusation, a very huge accusation. Normally, I would be saying these things if it wasn't for the fact that we know Trump, that we know he can be bought by other people, companies, and other nations. The $16 million bribe or lawsuit settlement that CBS paid Trump was for federal approval. Federal approval about what exactly? Federal approval for CBS's parent company, Paramount, to try and sell the company to Skydance Media, owned by the father-son college dropouts, the Ellison father and sons. The fact is, Stephen Colbert told the truth, that this $60 million was nothing more than a bribe, not because the lawsuit was not frivolous or told the truth, but because they want to sell their media company to another media company to consolidate them, which obviously needs federal approval from Trump's FCC. And we already know that the FCC, that Trump's FCC is corrupt as hell. So what's the point? Was Colbert not supposed to talk about this? Was Colbert not supposed to say anything about what went down? Obviously he wasn't, otherwise the show would be still on the air now. But I will say this. He told the truth. Plain and simple. He told the truth about what CBS was doing, what Trump was doing. And remember that first law in survival of Donald Trump's America. Honor thy father and thy Lord, Donald Trump, or you'll be fired, or you'll be destroyed financially. This is the law in Trump's world now. I'm the president of the United States. I'm your God, and you're not supposed to talk badly about your God, which is me, Donald Trump. Stephen Colbert committed the sin of talking about his God. Well, let's just put it this way, CBS's God. Quite honestly, CBS is going to have a hell of a lot of explaining to do. The truth of the matter is, Stephen Colbert told the truth, and he was punished for it. The way I see it, at this point, CBS is on its last legs. Now, mind you, I'll still watch it for the sports and whatnot, but I'm not going to enjoy it. Because you have absolutely, positively no idea what you've done. Or more to the point, you may not care about what you've done. Giving Donald Trump and his corrupt federal government carte blanche in order to, if a comedian or a late night host talks about Donald Trump can bitch, can complain, can cry, can crap in his diaper, all he wants, and you'll bend over for him. Even if it costs you billions of dollars. Because whether you believe this or not, Stephen Colbert's show was one of the highest ranking shows on CBS, on late night period. You have no idea what you've done. But as for Stephen, I know he's going to land on his feet. I mean, he may end up back on Comedy Central on The Daily Show, still making Donald Trump's life a living, miserable hell. But it's up to us now to make sure that the truth still comes out just the same way Stephen Colbert did. The same way that he always does. Matter of fact, I'm going to play you the audio because I can't show you the video because of YouTube copyright rules. But I'm going to play you the video of what happened 5 years ago when Stephen does an opening monologue that Trump has already claimed that the 2020 election was stolen from him before the votes were even counted. After election night, before the votes were even counted. You see, before the votes were counted, Donald Trump already made the statement that the election was stolen from him. And Stephen Colbert rips him apart. It is a thing to behold. Take a listen.
Hey everybody, welcome to A Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. I'm here with my friends Mark and Chris. Scott's over there. Evie's right over there. We're taping this just a little while after Donald Trump walked into the White House briefing room, actually, and tried to poison American democracy. That's why I'm not sitting down yet. I just don't feel like it yet. It's also why I'm dressed for a funeral, because Donald Trump tried really hard to kill something tonight. Around, was it 7 o'clock? Around 7 o'clock, the president came out into the White House briefing room and lied for 15 minutes. Just nonsensical stuff about illegal vote dumps and corrupt election officials and secret Democratic counting cabals and, I don't know, long-form birth certificates probably. It's all the same. And if you did not know that Joe Biden was getting close to 270, Donald Trump just provided all the proof you will ever need. True story. I'm wearing black tonight because I was getting dressed this afternoon, and I thought he might try some shenanigans, and it might be fitting to tell jokes while wearing something somber if he goes down that dark path. And I'm no prophet. It's just that he's so predictable. For weeks, we've been talking about how there'd be a red mirage and how all those outstanding Biden mail-in ballots might let Joe catch up, and that Trump would then probably come out around, I don't know, Thursday, maybe evening news time, and pretend that he won and accuse everybody else of cheating. The guy does not have another gear. Get a new act. I mean, he said this stuff back in 2016.
I will totally accept the results of this great and historic presidential election if I win.
So we all knew he would do this. What I didn't know is that it would hurt so much. I didn't expect this to break my heart. For him to cast a dark shadow on our most sacred right from the briefing room in the White House, our house, not his, that is devastating. This is heartbreaking for the same reason that I didn't want him to get COVID. Certainly why I wanted him to survive, because he is the president of the United States. That office means something, and that office should have some shred of decency. Now, we always knew he would leave a stain there, and not just from his butt bronzer, because everything he did, everything, is now in some way presidential behavior, including this, unless every single person rejects what he just did. And that means for all the predictable behavior of the last few days and the last 4 years, right now something unpredictable needs to happen. Republicans have to speak up. All of them. Because for evil to succeed, all that is necessary is for good men to do nothing. So say something right now, Republicans. Not later, not after you've stuck your finger up in the wind or wherever you want to put it. Right now. It's in your best interest. You only survived this up till now because a lot of voters didn't want to believe everything that was obvious to so many of us, that Donald Trump is a fascist. And when it comes to democracy versus fascism, I'm sorry, there are not fine people on both sides. So you need to choose Donald Trump or the American people. This is the time to get off the Trump train, because he just told you where the train is going, and it's not a passenger train. And he'll load you on it someday too. Now, in the absence of good men, what about Mitch McConnell? Has he said anything? What does he say? He declined to comment. Okay, Mitch McConnell has declined to comment. The maxim of the law is qui tacit consentiri. Who is silent gives consent. So, Mitch, we heard you loud and clear. You're okay with this. It's not even a hard call. This is in your self-interest to support votes being counted. That's how you got your jobs. But I guess Mitch McConnell is saying that he was reelected through fraudulent votes as well, and he's holding on to the Senate because of fraudulent elections in other states, and Republicans picked up seats in the House because of fraudulent elections. So cast them all out? Is that what your silence is saying, Mitch McConnell? Because Americans are going to count something else starting right now. They're going to count who is willing to speak up against Donald Trump trying to kill democracy. And they'll count who will stay silent in the face of this desperate attack on the bedrock institution of this truly great nation. because he just attacked the thing that makes us most great. And it is time for you all to mean what your hats have been yelling. By the way, if Donald Trump is right, if Joe Biden did pull the strings behind the scenes in Republican states like Arizona and Georgia while coordinating with Democratic states like Pennsylvania and Nevada and Wisconsin and Michigan, and throwing in the red herring of letting the Republicans keep the Senate and gain a few seats in the House while just barely removing Donald Trump, wow. I mean, kudos to that level of interstate coordination. I mean, anyone who could accomplish that many things at once right now really would be the president we need during a global pandemic. This is one I really wish I could swear. But I'll say this. We're not going to show you a second of what that sad, frightened fraud said tonight. Because it's poison and I like you. He can suck silence. He can also suck my frosted yum nut. That reference is going to make sense later. Stay with me.
Stephen, I hope you land on your feet. As a matter of fact, you are going to land on your feet. You're too good a man and too strong a person to let this end the wrong way for you. And as for you, Trump, you can do all the big backflips you want. Matter of fact, Donald Trump actually posted this on Truth Social. Colbert has finally finished at CBS. Amazing that he lasted so long. No talent, no ratings, no life. He was like a dead person. You could take any person off the street and they would be better than this total jerk. Thank goodness he's finally gone. Trump, your time as president is coming to an end. Whether it's 2 years from now or a few months from now after the midterms or a couple of weeks from now, but it's going to end. And let me tell you something, and you hear me very clearly. You won't be as respected, nearly as famous as Stephen Colbert was. His legacy will be that of a person who made us laugh, a person who made what's going on in our world a lot less painful that you're putting us through. Your legacy will be one of pain, greed, fear, death, and treason. I'm going to see to that. The history books are not going to be kind for you. History will never be kind to you, Trump. And neither will it be to the MAGA. I promise that. Oh yes, I promise that. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.